जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम 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 जय राम जय जय राम ओम
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam, pranam.
Sir, I have a small question. Like if the cosmic consciousness is behind everything, then if like I am doing some immoral work or somebody is doing some crime type of work, then that work also behind that cosmic consciousness is also behind that.
When we identify ourselves with the body, it is deplorable because it is not in line with our aspiration of becoming one with Him. But when we identify with Him, why should we bother? It may do so many things. Then the question of right or wrong, deplorable or elevating, it will not come at all. When we commit mistake, when we forget God, we are now sitting in a platform and trying to reach there and then trying to view from there. It won't give you the picture. We are still in the individual level. We are asking whether God will do this. When we raise ourselves to that extent, then only we will come to know. One thing we can say, we will not do anything that is deplorable. Because God stands for, there is nothing separate, When we say He is all-pervading, He is the great void, everything is included. But from an individual standpoint, if we try to intellectually understand what that state would be, we will not be able to attend it on. So we have to reach that stage. And to reach that state, the method we have been given is to remember Him. Not merely remembering through chanting. There the mistake comes. Remembering through chanting, and the effect of it should be there even while we do our work, non-chanting time. If the chanting time we concentrate, and if we do something away from the ideal during the non-chanting time, we will not be able to progress. So the expansion of love should take place not only during the chanting time, should also during the non-chanting time. So Papa brings it out like this. Outer activities should be compatible with inner aspiration. Inner aspiration is to remember Him who is in us, everywhere around us. When we try to understand it more and more, we will not do any harm to anybody, Suppose you take it as a ritual, then as you said, it will happen. Suppose we try to understand that we are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is in everybody, and who helps me to come out of the toils of individualism and to become one with Him. So this is the idea behind repeating the name. and non-repeating time. It, clearly it is warned. Outer activities should be compatible with inner aspiration. So a normal person will forget this. But the moment he comes to know that he has wounded somebody, he has justified his action, he wants to assert his individuality, immediately he should apologize mentally to that person, repair the damage. One fine morning we will not be able to reach that stage because our mind is impure. It has to be purified. One day chanting or 2 day chanting will not help us. So it is likely that we may forget and again be under the grip of our old habits. So we try. That is why Prabhupada said chanting should go on. At the same time, nobody will be able to chant throughout the daytime. God has put them in 3 tiers: family life, professional life, social life. And these 3 tiers, the sense of individuality is dominating him. So he is likely to err. So we have to keep on practicing this. Those of us who are not full-timers, it is an uphill task. Now when we are in this room, we are having these sattvic thoughts. The moment, here it is relatively, it is easy. The moment you come out of it, somebody says, you have locked my room, what happened? Immediately you will also jump, You will not see that he is there and he is testing us. Even in ashram. That is the test he is giving. And when we fail, we should know we have failed, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Habitually, I put it in my pocket, that's all. Sorry, but you can settle the account there. So this is the effect of chanting. Right from that is why it is nowadays we share touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of gratitude, touch of dedication. These 4 will be explicit in all our action. It should be explicit in all our action. Not like this. Touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, touch of gratitude. And slowly when we practice, we will also try to understand intellectually first that nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. Whether it is a matter, whether it is a person, whether it is a situation. It's a tough job. So that is why yesterday elaborately Papa wanted us to dwell on this inward journey. Inward journey is a must. Because inward journey offers us opportunities to take stock of our what is inside us. Activity one after another. We have no time to check our stock. We react to events and individuals impulsively, but when we are alone, we are shutting off all our activities. We have time. It will help us. That is why nowadays, for the past 15 months, 16 months, we have been having 1 day exclusive mauna. And not to limit to 1 day, but that's only possible now, but every day we can have 10 to 15 minutes, preferably early in the morning. Because you would not have reacted with anybody. If at all, it may be 1 or 2. And it will be sattvic, mind is sattvic, and you chant Ramnam. You bring all your spiritual preceptors before you, touch their feet, and start the day with a sattvic attitude. Then try to go within, mentally chant, and try to remember we are chanting the name of one who is making me to chant. All that, when we try to do that, slowly we will first intellectually get convinced that he is with us, he has been with us. So every time we get disconnected, this will again, the fusion will take place. And one more thing is, when we are earnest about it, he will see to it that we get many such opportunities in the day to get connected. If our priority and preference are something else, naturally we will not. But suppose we slowly try to shift the priority. Mysteriously, he will make us to
that he inside me and that he inside you are same.
For that, we have to understand what is inside me.
Exactly.
Then only we will be able to know that what is inside others. So first thing he says, go within and find out. After a stage, he wants to give a complete shut off for all the external activities. Because then only we will know our real self. Complete business outer business should be closed. Shutter is down. And then we start. Yes, I am thinking, I am sitting, I am thinking. I got a body, yeah. I am thinking now, thoughts are there. Wait. Who is behind this thought? Who is behind this heartbeat? How does it work? Like that we try to go within. All these are possible only when we shut the door out. Immediately your phone rings, you will start, again you are out. Somebody calls, you are out. And that will take you to cascading effect, one to another. So by the time you want to enter, you would have already gone far away from this. So that is why this inward journey is a must. Because as you asked this question, very pertinent question, only then I will know that the subtle and mysterious power which is at the moment working in the form of talking, in the form of articulating this finger, in the form of opening the eyes and looking, this power must be the same power with you also. I have direct experience, that it is the one which is doing. So it must be in you also. Without knowing this, I will not be able to do that. That is why as you enter, you will see a board here. On the inauguration of this ashram, Papa made it very clear. The ideal of the ashram is universal love and service based upon the vision of divinity in everybody.
I have seen that.
This divinity. Divinity means the life force, the consciousness, the intelligence. So when once we realize this, not know this, first we know this, then we try to realize this by taking to any sadhana that is okay for our temperament. And then we try, when we don't have to see that, we will be seeing that. At this moment we say, I will see what the divinity in me, then I will be able to see divinity. It will not happen. The moment the divinity is seen within, automatically the divinity will enable you to come out of the individuality. And when we come out of the individuality, what remains is only cosmic reality, So the intellect has got limited play in this, very limited play. So yesterday we were talking mostly about this silence, solitude. Papa has elaborately discussed about this silence. The need for silence, going in for silence.
Alasam, divinity we have to see divinity in our own self.
Suppose I tell you this particular sweet fruit is very sweet. However much I explain to you, you may not get that, unless you taste. Until such time, it is only a knowledge, not an experience. You believe in my words and you say it is also sweet, but direct experience you should have, When you sit silently, be conscious in the first place that the God you seek is in your own heart. Oh, they are not seeing, yeah? We are not in a hurry to move to the next chapter. When you sit silently, be conscious in the first place that the God you seek is in your own heart. And then mentally repeat His holy name or the mantra that you have received from your spiritual preceptor. Make the mind repeat the mantra until all its waves cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, continue the repetition of the name mentally. The name has the power to quell all the waves of the mind. As the mind becomes still, the repetition will cease automatically and the mind will now experience a state of peace which is not of anything external but purely internal. That means the peace comes from the depth of your being. This is from God within you, so the first thing you have to do is to repeat God's name mentally to curb the restless mind and its outgoing tendency. To keep the mind under control, name is the most powerful means. Now you may go on repeating the name mentally, sitting silent until the mind becomes still. Sit like that for half an hour or any period up to half an hour, even after the repetition stops. It must stop by itself. Very important. We are not stopping it. You should not force the mind in any way. You must also be sitting in a relaxed condition. Don't be stiff. Let your body be erect, because in the erect position it is that you can be alert and watchful. So some clues about quietening the mind with the help of Nama.
So is this purpose driving?
Because when the mainstay of the ashram is chanting, when he says that covers everything, you don't need any other thing for your sadhana. So he is touching upon the various aspects with the help of some. So inward journey and outward activities also he will have like this. When you are giving, you are giving only because he is making you to give and he is offering a field to give. The whole thing changes, He is making you to do and he has provided the field to do. Also only he is there, Like that in jnana, karma and bhakti, in these three directions, how does the name help us? That is how he practiced, and he is giving to us. We cull out that and put it in a different, so that it is in various books. So when we are prompted, okay, I have told many times, but you need, because all these things came out of his experience. We are sadhakas. So we need, in a platter it should be given. Otherwise, it's all right. You read for some time and then you are aiming at stilling the mind. No. How does Nama help? No. But suppose he prompts you to cull out this from different books. Today morning I was reading this small book, you remember, at the time that has been compiled by Ravi. He is on the job. Wherever he has mentioned about Ram Nam, he is culling out all books and putting it in under one book. So that every time you want to read something, you can just go through that. And it's a good sadhana for him and very helpful for us. Like that. And we have to keep on doing something, otherwise the mind will go to the external activities. And that external activities will take us away from him. Until we get the balance, we have to keep that we move in the circle only. So we are back again to Tirupati. So from Tiruvannamalai he moved to Tirupati. Become aware that Saguna is the outer expression of Nirguna. God whom we seek is within. Complete reliance on God helps us rise above bodily discomforts. Keep a check on grumblings and complaints. Adversity is not an obstacle for God remembrance. Those of you who remember the Tirupati episode, just imagine walking all the way 700 or 800 steps and reaching there by night, shivering like anything. Door is closed. Some sadhus had lighted some fire. He also joined them. Then afterwards the security came and asked them all to go. They were exposed to the extreme cold. And then along with that, Papa had no grumblings or complaints. Night, they couldn't even sleep, not only because of the chill, but because of the mosquito. So the companion told him early morning, we have to go out of this place. Both of them went to the Papanashini river, had a bath and then left, that's all. They did not even go to the temple. So this is the background. But Papa was not at all upset. He was led to Tirupati. He was led to understand. God proposed all these things. God disposed it off in a different way to gain some experience, to test. Whereas his companion was grumbling and complaining. And Papa was not upset. When he went to the Puri, he had the darshan of the Murti there and he was in ecstatic mood. But here he went all the way, taking all the, and he did not go inside. So when one is sure that he is within, whether we see him outside or not, it does not matter. When we see outside, that is also a reflection of what is inside. So what is more important is the inside one. That's why he said, become aware that Saguna is the outer expression of Nirguna. Then seeing or non-seeing will not matter much. He was comfortable. And he shows both Tirupati as well as Jagannath Puri. How many steps?
700.
700 steps. Just imagine on those days.
In Tirupati there was no mosquito.
But being guests are there.
That is a different place.
Oh.
700. On early morning at about 4 a.m., descending from the mountain, Ramdas walked straight to the railway station and finding a train waiting, got onto the platform without being obstructed, entered the compartment. A few minutes later, the train moved. Where was the train taking him? It was none of his concern to try to know this. Ram never errs, and a complete trust in him means full security and best guidance. The train ran up to the Katpadi's junction. Here Ram brought him in touch with a Sadhu Ram to guide him. He promised to take him to Tirupati, in which direction the train was running. O Ram, thy plans are indeed always mysteriously worked out. The new Sadhu Ram and he travelled together, and in due course both alighted at the Tirupati station. After refreshing themselves with some food prepared by the kind-hearted Sadhu Ram, they direct their step towards the Tirupati hill. Both commenced in ascending the stone steps of the hill. It was climbing higher still, higher up the Mount of Glory. About 700 steps were covered, and the sadhus reached the top of the hill at about 8 in the evening. Then they had to walk about 3 miles over almost level ground. It was a moonlit night, but the cold up there was intense, while at the same time Ram's gaze was correspondingly great. Every time, he is bringing that dimension. A little more, that means a person, an object, and a situation. Everything we are confronted with because the master has the master plan. A little before midnight, the temple of Balaji was reached. At the entrance of the temple was a fire, around which a number of people were sitting. The shivering sadhus hastened to the spot, pressed themselves in among these friends, warmed their hands and feet. Ram was indeed kind. A short time later, the doorkeeper of the temple commanded all at the fire to leave the place and get out, since it was time to close the main door of the temple. So all had to give up the fireside most reluctantly. The Sadhu Ram requested the watchman to permit himself and Ramdas to spend the night inside the temple, which request was not granted. It was all Ram's will, see. To come out of the temple meant complete exposure to the strong and extremely cold breeze blowing all over the hills. It was dark now, they had to search out a place to rest for the night. There were some massive buildings, the dharmshalas all open. However, the sadhus scrambled into one of these and settled themselves down. The Sadhu Ram began to grumble. Swami, it is impossible to think of sleep for the night. The cold will not allow us a wink of sleep. So much better, replied Ramdas. All the time can be devoted to Ram Bhajan, the bhajan of that all-powerful, all-loving being. That is all right for you, remarked the Sadhu Ram. But I should suggest a move from this place as soon as the day breaks. One more night in this plight shall certainly stiffen us into sheer logs of food. Receiving no reply from Ramdas, who was then engaged in the meditation of Ram, even in that condition, the Sadhu Ram laid himself down, twisted himself into the shape of the figure 8, and at the same time covering his body with the thin cotton cloth, the only spare cloth he had. It was too small to fully cover him, in spite of his assuming a position in which his bent knees were drawn up to touch his very nose. What a graphic description. Sleep is quite out of question. Again the Sadhu Ram said, poor friend Ramdas, Ram was sorely testing him, all for his good and good alone. The night passed. Early morning, when the day was breaking, the shivering Sadhu proposed a climb down the hill, but Ramdas suggested that they might go farther, on about 3 miles, and visit the waterfall called Pavanashini. The general belief is that the person who takes a bath in this waterfall will be washed off all his or her sins, hence the name Pavanashini. The Sadhu Ram agreeing, both proceeded to the spot, bathed in the waters falling down a rock with great force. Since it was broad daylight now, the top of the hill in all directions were seen clearly. The beautiful landscapes and the valleys that met eyes were simply entrancing. Bath over, the Sadhu Ram hastened down the hill, followed by Ramdas, and before evening they reached the city below. The same evening, both of them boarded a train running northward. So that is how, as you said, not the mosquito, somewhere else mosquito. So he did not go to the temple. So become aware. How could he do that? No? He was not disappointed. Ignorance is also bliss. The Sadhu Ram, he may not be knowing this. To him, the body consideration was predominating. So he said, no, we will go. In Papa's case, there was no problem because he is with me, he has been with me. And like any other individual, like any other object, like any other situation, this is also an object, He is available everywhere. So to him, having darshan or not having darshan did not matter, because he was well rooted in the nirguna aspect, impersonal aspect. A very, very important point for all of us. God whom we seek is within. So there won't be any disappointment. This has to become clear, Complete reliance on God helps us rise above bodily discomforts. Keep a check on grumblings and complaints. Adversity is not an obstacle for God remembrance. So this makes us clear that Papa was able to do it because he was very clear that God is within. And he is there because God is within. Inseparable. So we should aim at our sadhana like that, Then we will not have put any label to any experience. The Master has got a master plan on my life. The Master has got a master plan on my life because the Master is the one who is leading my life, guiding my life, activating my life. And Nama chanting is to constantly remind this. Let us see the next one. Control?
Minus.
Naina.
Minus.
Control minus. Where is minus?
Minus is your control. And this one.
It's going somewhere.
It will go. Doesn't matter. It's good.
The next is also very interesting. God is everywhere. Exposure to outer world does help in remembering God in varied situations. God is everywhere becomes a reality by feeling His presence at every place we visit. Sattvic response to situations leads to a transformation in others. It is in Kalahasti, Exposure to outer world does help in remembering God in varied situations. A very important point. We have all been trained, to see God in a particular situation. Go to the puja room, our attitude changes. Go to the temple, attitude changes. Stand before the sanctum sanctorum, attitude changes. Go to the ashram, attitude changes. Meeting the Mahatma, attitude changes. Okay, everything is plus, 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 plus. Tick, tick, tick. The moment we are out of it, there is no change in us. The same individual with all its plus and minus, So now, varied situations, then I will not be disturbed at all, I will also be going to the temple, I will also be going to the puja room, I will also be going to the ashrams. We are not limiting him. There's a beautiful poem of Papa. I find him everywhere. In this connection, we remember this. I find my God in fields, hills, dales. Oh, they are not seeing.
And you just click on stop sharing.
Eh?
Then click on stop sharing from your itself. You can just click on stop sharing. Next.
Okay. They
Gone.
will also get it?
No, now you do.
They,
Now you do
they have to
start.
get it? No.
Now you start a new one. Alt and tab.
So you have to, without going this.
Stop sharing.
Darker. I find my God in fields, hills, dales, in workshop, school, office, and marketplace. We were talking about puja room, temple, ashram, no? In plains and forests, in the grazing herd of cows, in home, hospital, in power plants, in huts and palaces, in halls of assemblies, in temples, churches and mosques, in solitudes and caves, in graveyards and cremation grounds. I see him in the sky above, the earth below, in the waters of the lakes, the oceans vast, in the slow and swift running streams, in trains, in cars, and in aeroplanes, as well in gentle moving bullock carts. I behold him awake, asleep, dreaming, in birth, in life, and in death. I find him at all times and in all places, in all states. My God is everywhere and everything. He alone is. There is none but He. Once, at least we will read, no? Somewhere it will be in their mind. Because nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. You know, when we say that, at least these are the starting point, the stepping stone for people like us. I find my God in fields, in hills and dales, in workshop, school and office, and marketplace, in plains and forests, in the grazing herd of cows, in home, hospital, and in power plants, in huts and palaces, in halls of assemblies, in temples, churches, and in mosques, in solitudes and caves, in graveyards and cremation grounds. I see him in the sky above and earth below, in the waters of the lakes, the oceans vast, in the slow and swift running streams, in trains, in cars, and in aeroplanes, as well in gentle moving bullock carts. I behold him awake, asleep, dreaming, in birth, in life, and in death. I find him at all times, in all places, in all states. My God is everywhere and everything. He alone is, there is none but He. Many such poems are there, very thought-provoking, very thought-provoking. We may be able to enjoy the sweetness of it only when we exclusively sit with it. And then try to understand, how did you find that in the field? Then slowly He will reveal. Hills, dales, workshop, school. What we have given the meaning to these words, we will find something more and more and more and more added to it. We will try to go to the origin. School is not a mere structure, no? What for school? For education. Education starts from where? There should be a language base. Oh. Where from the language come? Like that, we go, exclusively we sit for a week or 10 days and we get up and see, we can also verify. And this helps us a lot, because inward journey for us is very short time, Outward journey is more in our waking state. There are many such poems. Not merely to read and learn by heart, to ponder over, to understand. Office, hospital. Luckily, he has addressed some of this into many letters in the letters. So it was able to catch. For example, somebody wrote to him that when I work, I feel I am only a wage earner. Then Papa wrote back, that is because you are not aware. the employer who has employed you, he is made up of this, Without this living force, he cannot exist. Without intelligence, he cannot conceive of a company. And he is intelligence absolute, he is life absolute, he is consciousness absolute. And then he was prompted to have the concept of a company. And God provided the various materials for it. And then when he set up the company, he was prompted to get more assistance, so he made an advertisement. He was prompted to make an advertisement. And sitting in the employer, the one who wrote, he said, now apply. So he applied. God made him to apply. God seated in the employer, selected him. And it is God's plan through that individual. And to work out God's plan, he took God's other forms also to become the employees. And then the next, most charming part is, and God is giving you the salary through the relative employer. So how can it be a wage earner? You are doing God's work, and God in the Vyavaharik level provides you the salary. So your employer is he. Through relative employer, he is working out his plan, and he has already made you to come into the earth. He has already equipped you with the needed, expertise or whatever, or knowledge. And then he absorbs and puts to work out his will through you. Like that,
Only through this inward journey. Through this inward journey starts.
Through this inward journey.
It changes the whole. We may not be able to hold on to it through it, but doesn't matter. And this poem, when he brought it to our notice, I think some of the year-end program also we did it now. And then when we went to Delhi, we were prompted to have an interactive session with the youngsters. We vividly remember a group of 30-40 people in Delhi came, all youngsters. We gave this poem. We read it out. There was a screen. It was put up there. Then everybody we said 15 minutes or half an hour. We gave a break. Each one may sit and try. You pick up home, correct. Everything we cannot handle. You take one. He says, home. In home. So he said, for example, in home. How do we find him? Let us all make an effort. Half an hour, everybody sit silently, started noting down. And after that, each one came out with brilliant ideas. And the final, they said, when we now go home, it is not merely a home which we defined as home later. It is full of God dimensions only. And they brought out in a brilliant way. So similarly, if we take up, for us, this will all help us. It is not to confine within the, our specified disciplines. Because he is all-pervading, anything can make us to connect ourselves with him. Not necessarily through one particular one. So this poem, it opens up, for us to ponder deeply. And Malayalam also, in Hindi and Malayalam, we translated this and set to music. In Malayalam, it has come out very well. So that one day somebody will get enthused by it. One person, if he gets enthused, that is okay. Because this is spirituality in workaday life, day-to-day life. We are not confining spirituality to specific places like ashrams, temples, places of worship, or meditation center. No, 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 no. Anywhere and everywhere. And Papa is providing us a venue. Now you try to explore. He enjoyed, he could see that. So when I go to the field, Hills Days workshop, school, even in a car, no? Train. Something, unique. That with which we are daily moving, that has become a point of concentration, no? So the mind gets freedom to feel for him. Previously we have in our concepts, we have developed a concept in which he is associated only in certain places. His thoughts, we are associating him only in certain places on certain occasions. But here he says, when you reach, you will come to know this. So I can check up whether I have reached that stage at all. If I see him only in a temple or in an ashram or in a Mahatma, that means I have miles and miles and miles and miles to go, The same is echoed in Thus Speaks Ramdas. The first page itself, it is not merely in holy persons and places that you should see God, but in all, everywhere, even in the marketplace. You must always feel the divine presence in and about you. Religion means spirituality, should enter into every department of our life. It is the cry nowadays that our life should be molded purely on a secular basis. This means that we should build up life ignoring the soul. The word secular, we should never use it at all. Because it does not give any meaning at all. But man is not merely what he appears to be, a bundle of flesh, bones, blood, skin, nor a creature living and acting solely under the impulses and thoughts arising from the mind. We have to recognize that beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and mind, there is within man the spirit which is immortal. It is by the power of the spirit that our life is activated in its manifold expressions. In the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory and field, as well as in temple, church and mosque, we should tune ourselves with the spirit. Divine thoughts and feelings should permeate us. Very clear. Every department of our life. Spirituality should enter into every department of our life. So exposure to outer world does help in remembering God in varied situations. God is everywhere, becomes a reality by feeling His presence at every place we visit. That is why we remember these two quotations. Title is God is everywhere. We may read but we will see God only in certain places, or we will try to see Him only in certain places. That is why this chapter is very, very important. Tomorrow we will take it up elaborately. God is everywhere becomes a reality by feeling His presence at every place we visit. Sattvic response to situation leads to a transformation in others. Sattvic response. We will go through that episode tomorrow, very, very inspiring episode, that when the ticket inspector asked him, when you know God is everywhere, what is the purpose of your going everywhere? Then the way in which Papa answered, it was not an answer for the question. It was the revelation of his experience that came out in the following words. It touched the heart of the ticket exam. That is why the sattvic response to situation leads to a transformation in others. He was not reacting to the incident. He took it. God has given an opportunity to reveal his experience. More of it we will do. It is very interesting, very interesting. Going through Inquest of God, many a time will have some effect, on our thinking, our approach to the various aspects of our life. We only pray to Him, kindly enable us to keep up the same tempo. The moment we start dealing with men and matters, there is every likelihood that the previous norms set by the mind, calculating mind, asserting mind, comes and plays. Please help us to come over it. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Om Shri Ram